Today we are servicing a Bosch dishwasher. Letting it focus, there we go. The initial complaint was that the dishes weren't getting clean, and that one of those soap packets, those pre-packaged soap packets, wasn't getting dissolved at all, and they suspected that the soap dispenser, this thing here, wasn't doing its job. However, I ascertained pretty quickly that it was functioning normally. What I did was I started up the machine and let it fill with water, and then I heard a rather familiar buzzing sound, and I realized very quickly that the wash pump motor was not turning, and it wasn't producing any wash at all, period. So anyway, quickly determined that what they've got is a stuck motor. Probably the bearing on the motor is seized up, the wash pump motor, and we're going to be changing it out. So we've got it out of its cabinet space right now, and we're just getting it opened up, and we've disconnected all of the lines and stuff. And the next thing that we're going to be doing is to flip this thing upside down, which is what we have to do in order to, I don't know why I'm getting out of focus all the time. And so we have to flip it upside down to gain access to the wash pump motor. Okay, so next the sides of the dishwasher come off. There's the dishwasher panel. We just removed that. And this is the right hand side of the machine. And here you can see the inlet water mixing valves and the anti-siphon chambers. And if you look down close inside, just a little bit in this area here, you can sort of see the water inlet valve. Okay, and now we have got the left-hand side cover removed, and that gives us access to the wash pump motor, which is this. And you can see the wash pump motor trying to turn the vanes. I'm not able to spin the vanes. The wash pump motor it's got burned out bearings. So the reason that they're getting a lousy wash is because the wash pump motor is not turning and it's not washing. How about that? Okay, so the whole dishwasher has been turned upside down. It's now standing on its head, which is how we're going to be able to get access to the motor. The next thing we're going to be doing is disconnecting the door springs, and then we're going to start removing all of these little screws that kind of go all the way around here. More screws back here, down there, over there, and then this whole plastic piece is going to come up and off. We're also going to have to disconnect the drain hose over here, and as well disconnect the water valve. So unfortunately, changing a motor on a Bosch dishwasher is a bit of a job. Okay, so here we are. We are finally down to the motor. The bottom cover has been removed, and believe me, that's a lot of trouble to get off. But it's been removed, and now here is the motor. All we have to do is disconnect this thing and swap it out, and we'll start putting it back together again. Something that might be worth noting at this point is, if you'll look right down here, there is a little, there's a kind of like a ring clamp, hose clamp right here, and it's installed at the factory. It's kind of a one-time use clamp. It really can't be put back on without a special equipment that does the job. Oftentimes, many technicians will just use an automotive clamp whenever they're reinstalling this motor. It doesn't work very well. Quite often, it'll leak at this point. This is what you need. This is a replacement clamp from Bosch. It's specially designed for retrofits. It's designed to be used on a Bosch dishwasher. So if you're ever changing out a motor, be sure that you get a replacement clamp for it. So the new motor is in place, and we're getting ready to close it all back up again. Be sure that whenever you put this motor back in place, that you make sure to put these rubber keepers back on, and they will hook the motor down onto the the bottom base here and here in those two locations. So those are going to be used to keep the motor in place. Also, don't forget to put the float switch back in place here. That little red stem, that's part of the float switch assembly. That's absolutely necessary. Got to do that too. Okay, so we've got the pump motor. The new pump motor is back in. That's this part here, and we know that it's good because we can turn the blades easily. We've made sure that we hooked up those rubber keepers that we were telling you about earlier. And that's hooked on there, and the other one is hooked in right there. You can sort of see that. And be sure that you put the plastic cover back over the electrical connections. This is to prevent any water from getting down into these wires. So we're making progress. This is a ground wire that we have to connect to the frame, to one of the side panels. Be sure that we get this hooked up. That would be quite dangerous, just floating around all by itself. Okay, and so the machine is back in place. It's running normally. Everything looks like it's working just fine. Before we close up with the toe kick panels, we've already made sure that there are no leaks anywhere inside the machine, and it's draining properly. And at this point, it looks like we're finished up with this job, and we're on to our next job. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.